So, Paul, I hear you had a busy week.
I did.
Vikings Gala, big event at US Bank Stadium.
It's literally the nicest I've ever been dressed since my wedding.
So, did you take Fallon there?
No, I didn't get a +1. Literally, I did not. And there were
Oh.
people that were like, why isn't your wife there? I'm like, well, if I'd known that I wasn't going to get a +1, you should have just sent her because people would rather talk to her than me.
If you would have had a +1 and you wouldn't have taken Fallon, who would have been on your short list?
Probably Fallon, because if I answer anybody else,
I said other than Fallon.
I don't think I can answer anybody. No,
Nobody?
Probably Hockey, but he was there, and Hockey's sister cost money, so I couldn't bring her.
All right, let's start the show.
Zing.
I was hoping for me, but that's okay. You in a different one. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Lambert. Of course, that opening joke, you meant that in the nicest way to Chris Hockey's sister.
Right, but I don't. Yeah, let's move
Sure.
on. It's a family show.
All right.
It's not the morning show.
We're going to start talking about the Vikings. They're in training camp down in Mankato. Mike Zimmer, before they went down there, was given his contract extension. They won't give out the details of how long or the money. Why don't they talk about the details for the coach, and what do you think about keeping Zimmer around for a long time?
I think it's probably one of the best things they've done, but if you keep in mind the last coach that they gave an extension to, they fired the next year. I don't think they're going to fire Mike Zimmer.
he's
Even if
pretty
they
safe.
went like 1-15, I don't think they'd fire him. I love it. I love Mike Zimmer. I've stated that multiple times on this show, on the Power Trip, on everything that I can talk to anybody about. I love Mike Zimmer. He's great. The guys, I was at training camp yesterday. They love him down there. I don't know why. I don't get why they don't talk about it. Like,
Right,
is
and
it
this-
like shouldn't we know?
Right, and
Not that you and I, technically, if you buy tickets and all that, you're probably paying for it, but how do we not know?
Right. I think it's a league-wide thing because other
Right.
coaches, it doesn't count towards salary cap, all that stuff. But it just seems interesting that these players, their salaries, their terms, public, out there,
Yeah.
absolutely. And with the coaches, who are the figurehead of the team, and obviously Zimmer is well liked by Vikings fans and the organization and the players, why don't they let us know? Especially the extent of how many years, money. I mean, it just seems to make sense that stuff should be public.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they don't talk about it. I don't know why anybody doesn't know. I mean, there are a few people that know, but even
The insiders,
everybody's
sure.
asked him, and he just doesn't mention it. But like, you look up any of the other coaches, it's all there.
Right.
Maybe it's just one of those mysteries.
Mysteries of pro sports. All right, moving on. Offensive line. Phil Lodeholt retires this week. Mike Harris says his illness/head injury seem to be, when you talk about a mystery, that's another mystery.
Yeah, I don't know, because, I mean, all we heard from the end of last season, like literally days after, we got to get the offensive line better and we got to protect
Right.
Teddy, which is literally the same thing, but you got to get the right amount of bodies in there. So they go out and they get Andre Smith, they get Boone, they get all these other guys, and they bring them in. They got Carter Bykowski, some of these other guys just as depth. Well, Lodeholt retires.
He's gone.
You got this Mike Harris thing. Sullivan is still probably going to be the starting center, but he takes one bad hit. You don't know what's going to happen to him. So that what once was maybe a strong point depth-wise on their offensive line is now kind of dwindling. And whatever's wrong with Mike Harris, you hope it heals up or whatever it is and gets better and he can get back out there because he played decent last year, but you know, they had Clemmings at left tackle. Well, now Clemmings is back at right tackle. I was there yesterday. He was working mostly with the right tackles. But then they were talking about maybe putting him at guard. And then they got, and I'm not just saying this to be funny, but they've got Willie Beavers, who was a tackle. And then they moved him to a guard. So they do have a little bit of a depth, but it's kind of more of that, maybe the theme of today's show, that mystery depth.
Sure.
You don't know. I mean, Willie Beavers, they said he was one of the worst tackles in college football. Maybe he'll work out at guard. I don't know. We'll see.
Tonight is a PG-13 show. Willie Beavers joke, Chris Hockey's sister joke.
Right.
We're going to have to clean it up for the rest here.
Sorry.
No, you absolutely nailed it. It's like you're reading my notes here. I wanted to talk about Sully, his back. Do you think this is an overplayed story? And the reason I ask this is I think you nailed it. A lot of players are just one injury away from their careers being done. The back, it's a sensitive area. If he does take a bad hit, could be done. But everybody seems to be talking about it. I heard him talking on K-Fan when he got interviewed, and he's saying, look, I'm good. As long as it holds up, I'm fine. And he seems like a great guy. He's a character guy. As a center, he seems to be kind of holding things down right now.
I love Sullivan. He's a great guy. He's, as you said, he does a lot of community work. He's super nice to the fans. He's one of the best. Whatever day he's on Barrero's show during the football season is can't miss radio because he's candid, he's intelligent, and he doesn't really hold much back when he talks about it. Yeah, I mean, he takes one bad hit from Ziggy Ansah, the Lions, or one of these guys coming around on a blitz, and you jar that back. I don't know. I mean, my boss, he's got some back problems, and he even said it. He played offensive line, he coached offensive line. He said, like, that's a tricky injury, and even and then it affects your feet and all that.
Yeah.
It could be bad, but you hope for his sake and his family's sake that he plays for another 3 or 4 years.
All right, we'll get a little bit lighter here. Adrian Peterson pulled hamstring, not getting reps with the first team. Instead, that's going to Jerick McKinnon. Do you think this has any difference or any play for the preseason?
0. Adrian won't play in the preseason, and if
never has.
I don't even think he may have in his rookie year. But I said it yesterday on Saturdays with Sauce when Nordo and I were down at Mankato. I said it. If Adrian Peterson wanted to just show up before the Tennessee game, I'd let him. You don't want to get him. And I asked Sharif Floyd yesterday when I interviewed him, I said, what happens if you hit Adrian Peterson? He says, you're cut.
Yeah, you're
instantly cut.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you just don't want him in there with like falling bodies. And I would literally leave him on the sideline. You don't have to do anything. Nothing. Just show up in Tennessee like you will, show up. You'll be fit. You'll be ready to go. Just do that. Just show up in Tennessee. Don't even fly with us. I just
stay away. Put him in a bubble.
Need him. And,
don't even be around the team.
Right. And a lot of people, because of his situation, what happened with him, a lot of people don't. They think differently of him. I'm never going to hang out with him. I don't have to have an opinion about him as a guy, but as a football player, I like him. As a guy, it's a different story. But don't let anything bad happen to him.
All right.
Just keep him in a bubble.
Another injury. Cordero Patterson allegedly made a fantastic catch. Hurt his left shoulder. Does this mean anything? They said he'll only be out a couple days.
I think he didn't in the walkthrough, and then I didn't stick around for the one practice yesterday. But I think he should be good. I think it's just a cautionary thing.
Sure.
And when you got a guy who is your kick returner, and in this sense, he's free money. Whatever you get out of him this year is house money at a casino. If you get a lot out of him, great. If you get nothing out of him, great.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, because either he'll play really well. If he doesn't play well, you get rid of him. If he plays well and he has 5-6 touchdowns, perfect.
Well, that's what
they need. That
the pressure seemed to be on. They were building him up, saying this could be another comeback year.
I think they're also looking to maybe trade him.
Sure,
you're not going to say bad. But in a kickoff league where they assume they're not, it's going to be like football in the backyard. You're just going to take the ball from the 30.
4 downs and move from there.
Right. That's no job. That takes one of his jobs away. So. We'll see, but I think if they get anything out of him, he'll be good. But injury-wise, I think it's just a precautionary thing.
Quarterback situation, this might be the most fun mystery, if that's our theme tonight. Taylor Heineke severed tendon, and he claims it's through kicking through a window and a door to try to get into his friend's house or something. What does this mean? And honestly, does this open the door for Joel Stave, a former Badger, that could be our third-string quarterback?
I think they may be in the position where they might just keep 2 quarterbacks. I think.
Really?
I think they're
so
to
you
that
say
point.
Sean Hill, and that'd be
or maybe, and I'm on the Nick Foles bandwagon. I say bring him in,
up
just as a backup. But with the what's the guy's name again?
Taylor Heineke.
Everyone and everybody ripped Chris Carter for his whole fall guy thing. Everyone needs a Smitty Oom. Everyone needs somebody. Why is he kicking in that door? Why
it doesn't make any sense.
Pick
up a golf club,
buddy
do
Todd,
anything.
who's hammered, kicked the door in. I mean, if I'm out with Mark Parrish, I'm kicking that door in. If I'm out with, where's the Mark Rosen ding? If I'm out with John Randall, I'm kicking that door in.
Right.
They're not. No. What is he doing? I mean, You could lose your job.
Well, severed tendon.
Right. I mean, and who knows if that even heals correct. That hurts just thinking about it.
When you talk about mystery, there are some journalists out there, ProFootballTalk.com, Mike Florio, ding. He wrote one that said maybe suggesting that this could be a cover-up. So we'll leave the mystery there. Obviously, we don't know. We weren't there.
Like the whole.
There are articles out there suggesting that this could have been something else.
Like the whole knuckle push-ups.
That's right. Oh, Kevin Love bringing it back. All right, time for us to take a time out. When we come back, we talk some Gophers and some Twins, All-Star. We're getting ready to drink. Stay with us. Yeah, of course we are. If the people at home could see your dancing during commercials, that'd be fantastic.
I need something. I can't keep still. I don't know why. I'm not drinking like I normally would be, or we will be.
We will
later,
be very
but
soon. Yeah.
I don't know why I can't keep still. I think I'm like a 4-year-old. I just have to move. I don't know.
All right, let's talk some Gophers. Big Ten Media Day happened last week down in Chicago. The Gophers doesn't seem like they have a whole lot of storylines.
That's a really good point.
There's two topics that are being talked about, and that's fifth-year senior quarterback Mitch Leidner and head coach Tracy Clay is taking on his first full season as head coach. Let's talk first about Mitch Leidner. Fifth-year senior, he's on the Davey O'Brien list. What is that, you might ask? Top 30 quarterbacks in the country. There's only 5 in the Big Ten. What do you think of Mitch Leidner? I mean, it seems like he's been here forever, being that fifth-year senior.
I think the one thing about Mitch Leidner that I always talk about is he's basically like, Gary McNamara, the old Syracuse basketball player.
Sure.
It feels like he's been here for 10 years.
Every time the game's on, there's
Philip
Leidner.
Nelson was here, and that felt like 10 years ago as well. I don't know much about Leidner. Justin Gard, dang, he loves him. He's the Gopher guy. He loves him. He's on that
Leidner
Island that he always talks about.
He's the only one. Well,
Todd
there might be more.
McShay, I think, came out and said that he'd probably be a first-round pick,
Right.
and you're like, huh? I don't know. I don't, as you nailed it. There aren't many storylines. I don't really know like much about what they're looking for because, it's college, so it's new players in and out all the time. I think some people think they have a chance to win the West. I don't know.
The media, I think, picked them to be last.
Well,
or was it fifth?
I don't know.
It was towards the bottom.
But,
It wasn't winning.
I think they'll be all right. But to be honest with you, I don't know much about Gopher football. I don't really follow it. But everybody thinks Leidner is going to be really good. And just like with the Vikings, you can keep the quarterback protected and he can throw downfield. Think good things will happen.
His statistics are not that fantastic. I think what the NFL seems to like about him is size.
Yeah,
I mean, 230, 6'4", I think.
Yeah.
There's some comparisons that he could be a Carson Wentz. He could go high. They think that his tools, that he could be coached to become an even better quarterback.
Maybe.
And now he's sitting here saying that he's 20 pounds lighter than he used to be. He tweeted that picture of his foot all cut up. I don't think a whole lot of people knew how injured he was last year.
He's a gamer, though. I mean, he's tough. He's a tough kid, and there are a couple people, I'll stop name dropping, but there are a couple people that think he's a very good quarterback, that think with the right tutelage he could be a really good quarterback. And we'll see. I mean, he's a team captain. Can he bring them to where they want to go? Sure, but college football season will be here before we know it, and they'll at some point lose, that offense. If they can get any kind of offense, they can be good, but they didn't much last year.
No. Speaking of Tracy Clay's, he said in Chicago he's got 2 goals. That's to win the Big Ten and to graduate as players. That seems like a pretty, for Minnesota fans, that seems like a great thing to say education is also something that he's focusing on.
Yeah, and that's the main thing now. I mean, they like to pretend this student athlete thing, and I use this quote all the time, and that's good. Well, they do, because and it's good. You got to get an education. You got to do all these things, and what, 1 or 2 of those guys will play in the pros? You got to get an education. That's important. Right. But for all these people to always come out and go, well, student athletes first. They got to go to class. What? Are you? And I steal this line all the time, and this is my favorite line from any movie. The movie The Program, when James Caan's character says,
it's a great movie.
When was the last time 50,000 people, now in the hundreds of thousands of people, showed up to watch a kid take a science test?
Right.
As long as those players aren't getting in trouble, I don't care what they do. If they don't want to go to class, I'm fine with that. But as long as they're not getting in trouble, do what you want to do. I mean, that school makes so much money off those kids. They make so much money off of Mitch Leidner. Do whatever you want to do. Just stay out of trouble. Don't do the things that college kids do that get them in trouble. But as long as you're a model citizen and you stay out of trouble, do whatever
Stay
you
clean.
want. Do whatever you want.
You talked about how many guys will play pro. The Gophers, within the last 2 years, have 8 players that have been picked in the NFL draft. That matches all the players from the 10 years previous.
Jeez.
So bowl games, all that stuff, throw that out. I think that the Gophers are heading in the right direction. This could have been because of Jerry Kill, but still, a college football program is successful by producing NFL, because then the people say, where's my ticket to get to the bigs? I got to make it to the NFL, and the Gophers now are turning into that.
Yeah, and cool workout facilities. You've seen that with Oregon and all those other schools where they have these sweet workout facilities and all that. I'd also like to see, these guys win a really big game. They won in Michigan a couple years ago, but win a big game, on the road, win in Wisconsin, that would be great. That'd be awesome. A great start.
Could happen this year.
That Jerry Kill press conference was the saddest thing I've ever been at, and and this is maybe a preposterous statement, but watching it was like being at a funeral. I mean, watching him sit there and have to give
was
up.
crying
Oh
so
man!
hard.
And I was like from here to the camera to him because I got there early, and it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. So I hope they're good for him because he's such a good guy. Jerry Kill is a Class A human being. If that makes any sense.
Well, we end that on such a sad
I'm just
note.
trying to be nice, though.
Let's move on to the Twins. Eduardo Nunez, he's
Sad
gone.
note. This is a sadder note.
A sadder, the dumpster fire. We trade him away for a pitching prospect from the San Francisco Giants. I say his name wrong every time. Adalberto Mejia.
Don't ask me to say
What
it.
your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they from everybody who these big baseball rubes that are like, well, they got a top 100 prospect for Nunez, who literally his ceiling could not get any higher.
Right.
He was
So
an
this is
all-star.
great selling time.
Great selling. It was a great move by them, and if they make a few more moves, tomorrow before the trade deadline, good for them. Maybe late into the night, maybe after we get off the air at 10:45, they're making trades. But
could happen.
Yeah, you traded at your absolute highest peak with him, and if this guy turns anything into steel takes, because that's what I do. I heard somebody say that you trust the San Francisco Giants pitching, bringing up a pitcher than you would the Twins.
Sure.
So we'll see, but they'll screw it up.
They'll
He'll
screw
blow
it.
out his arm or something.
Nice.
I hope he's good, but make more trades. I would trade all of them. I would trade any possible player you could and then just bring up. No, I'm serious.
You would not.
But yeah, why wouldn't you? What are you going to do? Win 70 games?
because you keep the big name, you keep Mauer, you keep Dozier. You have
got
to.
Mauer's not going anywhere.
No, I know, but you said trade any.
I
like
would
just
trade
open
any
up the cupboard and
right.
say,
I would get as many good prospects as you got to restart. You're not going to win games with the lineup that they have.
All right, let's get to the All-Star because this week the Saints are hosting the American Association All-Star Game. You get to be there. You're going to be playing a little softball.
Yeah, I'm playing softball tomorrow night at the CHS field. It's going to be really fun. My wife is the other team captain. She got Ben Lieber, which a lot of people's hearts are broken, but at least he'll be out on the field. And I've heard from a couple people say that they hope it's really hot out, so Ben Lieber has to play with no shirt on. I, for one, put my vote in for yes on that.
I was going to go to last week. We were making fun of Chris Sale for what he did to the jersey, and you said you should be able to play ball in a jockstrap and a paper bag.
Yeah.
And my sister went on Facebook and said you should play in that uniform at CHS field.
My wife would be offended by that. I mean, the stretch marks on my body are so bad it looks like Freddy Krueger took hacks at my body. It's real bad.
All right.
Yeah, I'm out.
Paint that picture in your head and get your drink ready because we're going to be doing some drinks.
Nightmare fuel.
Right after this. We're back. Thanks to the folks at Ticket King. Hope you grabbed your beverage in our commercial break there.
Cheers.
I'm ready to go too. Drinking game, we're going to play it just like we did last week. It's going to be some questions, multiple choice. You can cheer for Sauce. I ask the question. If he gets it wrong, he has to drink. If he gets it right, I have to drink. So I'm expected to. I made some easy ones for him tonight because I'm thirsty. There we go.
Perfect. Yeah, last ones. Do you got any more of your nerdy questions?
No, you know what? I didn't nerd it up. This is more sports and it's more multiple choice. So you have a better.
Sweet.
I thought I'd give you a better chance.
Thank you.
Let's start off. Last week, Joe Mauer bought a home in Lake Minnetonka. How much money did he pay for it? $4.2 million, $5.2 million, or $6.2 million?
$6.2 million. Drink.
You nailed it.
I read the sports section. I knew that. Plus, I think a couple of my buddies live by him.
I didn't know you could read, but
I
you know,
can't really. There's
that's where you're.
pictures.
You know, so now is he going to be your neighbor? Is he going to be living in your old spot?
No, if I had $6.2 million to put on a house, I wouldn't be
Wearing that T-shirt.
I think it's on backwards. And
The
my
mic is
mic makes
dragging
it
you.
look like just this hideous, chesty V-neck.
You got that sweet V-neck look.
Ugh, it's gross.
All
I
right.
just realized how
God.
hideous I look today on TV.
The people at home are drinking right now as you're doing. There's some chest hair sprouting out over there.
See,
High
Fallon's
def.
asleep.
High
She's
def.
not going to see how hideous I look.
All right, question number 2. We talked about Eduardo Nunez being the Twins' lone all-star rep. I looked in the history books from 1991 to this year, 2016. 13 times the Twins have had one lone representative.
Okay.
And it was 9 different players. Can you name, or 10, but we'll take Nunez out. Can you name 5 of the 9 players that were represented for the Twins as the lone all-star?
Ron Coomer.
Correct. Should I count down to 5 and just say drink? See? People at home, if you're interested, it goes, I don't have the years, but Joe Mauer 3 times was our lone rep. Michael Kadire, Joe Nathan, Eddie Guardado, Matt Lawton, Ron Coomer, Brad Radke, Chuck Knobloch twice, and Kirby Puckett.
I just figured that they'd have more than one in those years because some of
We
those
were a
years
better
they
team.
were,
then.
yeah, they
well,
were. Yeah.
the '90s, Knobloch, Puckett. Those are.
That's weird. I thought there'd be more.
I thought you'd get more than one.
Well,
That should be a 4-drinker for you there. There were 5 answers there.
I don't mind.
All right. We're staying with baseball. Hall of Fame. Last week we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but Ken Griffey Jr. was elected, so was Mike Piazza. I wanted to ask you, what years were they drafted? Ken Griffey Jr. was drafted first, so you might remember that one, but Mike Piazza was like 1,360-something.
I think Ken Griffey Jr. was drafted in 1989.
Wrong. You drink.
Okay, what's the answer?
1987.
Jesus.
He was the number 1 pick overall, so you were 2 years off there. What do you think about Piazza?
Yeah, it's 91.
Way off. 1988.
Jeez.
I gotta take a drink just to wet my whistle here.
I didn't know that. I'm obviously not good at
See,
this
you said
whole
you read the
sports trivia.
paper. This was in the paper.
Yeah, I skip some of those stories.
All right.
I get bored.
We're getting into football now. Little Adrian Peterson. He is one of only 3 running backs in NFL history to have 8 or more seasons scoring 10 rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Can you name the other 2?
Emmett,
Yes.
Jim Brown.
Wrong.
Ernest,
That's a half drink.
Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest, that's also wrong. Half drink.
Who is it?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh, yeah.
And he had 9. So Adrian this year could tie him.
It's not Ernest Borgnine?
Not Ernest Borgnine.
Okay.
I like that.
I love that name. Man, that was one of my first bits on the radio, was saying Ernest Borgnine. It's a great name.
It is a great.
I don't know why I think that's so funny. I need to grow up. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm going to work Ernest Borgnine into our trivia next week for our drinking. If
I think he
we're around
passed.
next week. I think he did too. I think you're right.
Rosie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger had his 69th birthday just yesterday.
It's funny.
Who is older? And I'm gonna have in order from youngest to oldest or oldest to youngest, doesn't matter. Arnold.
How old's Arnold?
He's 69.
Okay.
Sylvester Stallone, Donald Trump, and Harrison Ford. I got to get my sweat towel now. You got me going here.
Trump? No.
From youngest to
Ford's
oldest.
the oldest.
Okay, you got that.
Ford's the oldest. Then Stallone. Then the other guy you said, or Trump, and then Arnold.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
God, no.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I knew that because we talked about Stallone. Stallone's like 70-something.
He's 70. So's Trump, but they're only a month apart.
He looks
That's
great
why
for being 70.
Trump or Stallone?
Well, no, Trump looks like hell, but Stallone looks great. At 70, he looks great.
All right, real quick, the last one. I know you're a big Gilmore Girls fan.
Yeah, oh,
And they're
God,
coming
yeah.
back.
I actually love that. How's the
just-
theme song go?
Don't worry about the theme song.
I love the theme song.
Netflix.
Show me that's
No, that's Growing Pains.
Okay.
In their trailer on
Red
Netflix,
letter. Yep.
they said the line, "Do you think blank would find me hot?" And they were referring to who? Who fills in the blank? Do you think blank
Rory?
would find me hot?
Is that the bit?
Who?
Isn't that the girl Rory? Isn't she in the show?
No, they're talking about a professional pop culture late night host guy.
Oh, I have no idea.
Drink.
Jimmy Fallon.
Nope, John Oliver.
Who?
Who's on opposite us on HBO, but people don't watch that, they watch us. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Time for our last time out. We're going to have another drink. All right, welcome back. Find us on Twitter. I have my own. He has his own. Our show has its own. We usually ask a Twitter poll, but I wanted to ask Sauce, you were active on Twitter this week with Make America Whale Again.
Correct.
Yeah. Is this a serious thing?
Yeah, I'm running for president. And I love
it.
even though, like...
You might have my vote, and that's not
I
true.
appreciate that. Nick Sportson's my running mate. Let's take a step back here, and when you send me on Twitter, not you, but all these other people are like, you're not old enough. It's a bit. It's a joke.
They got to get it.
Just play along.
Play along.
You're not old enough.
Find him on
I know,
Twitter for the
I know
jokes.
I'm not old enough. And thank you.
We'll see you next Sunday.